What is up, guys? I'm back with another very special video. We're going to be doing a market recap from the week February 1st to February 7th. The market did just close, so this is a very good time to look at the market and seeing what we did this week. This week was like the last 3 weeks. We sold off on Monday pretty hard. We sold off Tuesday morning and then started to get bought up. We had a crazy Wednesday, a crazy Thursday, a crazy start to Friday, and then we sold off. And it's looking like maybe Monday will open red again. I did alert some lotto puts for SPY and QQQ in the premium group chat. So make sure you guys do click the link down below and join our Discord so you guys do not miss out on anything else like that. But I do want to talk about this outlook because it is very interesting. We would have expected this initial bull flag to kind of have a good breakout by now, and this 610 to continue higher towards that 618 Fibonacci extension at 629, which is our next main target for SPY. You can actually go ahead and draw that up here, 629. That's going to be our next target. But then when we broke out of that, we actually left a gap, and that might be what we're targeting. I do not know if we go this much lower, but with the way it's looking pretty bearish right now. It looks like we may come back down to maybe this median trend line here that I can put in red. Maybe this is kind of just flipped resistance turn support, but we just can't break out yet. It is just an interesting look. We are, closing today right at that 21 EMA. So if we were to open up Monday and that be a green day, that would be a very bullish signal. But I'm not really expecting that. I'm expecting another Monday sell-off. It's been happening in recent weeks, and there's no reason for that not to happen again with more tariff talks on the way. And this weekend should bring some volatility into futures, into Monday morning, and into the week that we're heading into. Another thing is we don't have many strong earnings this week coming up. We have Robinhood and then a few other random names. There is some important companies in there for sure, but really what I'm saying is there is no Mag 7 or like market moving type stocks. So this week should be kind of boring, to be honest. Maybe we do kind of just fizzle back down to this red and then have us a great setup going into NVIDIA's earnings the week following, which is kind of something that I can expect. So maybe we do bump back down, maybe start to fill this gap or just touch this gap. Another idea would be drawing our Fibonacci retracement. And the perfect thing about this is it would be awesome if we could come all the way down here. I would love to see this. If we can come all the way down here, Monday, maybe Tuesday, get in here, retest this gap, bounce off the gap, and simultaneously bounce off the 618 right here, and then move up higher. I think that is probably the most bullish thing that could happen. Maybe it's a sell the news type thing where they're buying the rumors, they're going short on puts Monday morning, thinking that some tariff news might come out later in the afternoon, and then maybe that doesn't come out, or maybe China sometime later next week kind of revokes what they're saying, or maybe Trump does. Either way, I do think that will most likely happen. I think that's my most bullish case, and I think that's the case that's probably going to happen, whether that's a bounce right here or right here. I do think that we see a dip for at least Monday. I do think Monday will be a red day. And I'm quite confident in that. I think we will get that sell-off. And normally, even when we're not in tariff talks, Mondays tend to be a little bit rougher, and then the rest of the week, picks up. But once we get out of here, we can really target, this main high at 610. Once we break this, it's kind of off to the races. You can see we don't really have anything above this. That would be all-time highs. And then our next target would be at that 629 range, which would be a really, really good target for us. Maybe by early summer, maybe like May, which I think is totally possible, but it could also happen in about 2 weeks' time. If NVIDIA's earnings are good, we will see 629 probably before the end of March at the latest. That's what I would assume, and that's what the market's kind of setting up for. It kind of looks like it's kind of just waiting around for those NVIDIA earnings, see what they say about China and how that's going to impact their business, because that is going to impact the broader market, as NVIDIA makes up around 7% of the S&P. That is a big chunk, guys. And say NVIDIA does beat and they go to 170 from 129 where they are today, that is going to drag the market much higher. And then also inversely, say maybe NVIDIA doesn't beat, and we're kind of in a position like this. Maybe say we come all the way down, make our way all the way up, and then say that's NVIDIA's earnings, and then we miss on earnings, fill this gap, and then just die off. That's also a possibility if they are to miss. I am not expecting a miss from NVIDIA. I'd be very surprised with that. If anything, I think they're going to double beat like they always do, and then maybe sell off just a few points. Maybe if they didn't reach that total insanity that everybody is expecting, them to beat by 10 billion% and bring in, 99% net income. People have blown this out of proportion. If they're beating on the numbers, they're beating on the numbers. I understand it's more bullish if they beat by, 4 billion instead of 2 billion, but at the end of the day, they're growing. They're bringing an insane amount of revenue. Most of these Mag 7 stocks are doing the exact same thing. We just saw Amazon report $745 billion of revenue in 2024. Almost $1 trillion in revenue. That is insane. And then their net income increased 88%. Increasing your net income 88% year over year after bringing in almost $800 billion is an insane statement. You're bringing in 3/4 of $1 trillion. So that is really, I'm kind of rambling here, but that is kind of my outlook. I do expect Monday to open red. I think we do kind of bounce around this middle yellow line here. I think that is a good area to kind of bounce somewhere between there and the gap. So anywhere in this kind of, I'll go ahead and outline it here. Anything in this teal box right here, I think is a good bounce area. If that's right here above the line, that's a great spot. If that's at the 50 EMA, that's a great spot. If that's in the gap, that is a great spot. If you're bouncing off the gap, that's also a great spot. If you're bouncing off the 618, it's a great spot. That is a great spot to turn around. Very bullish right there if we can't get the bounce. That's where I'm expecting it. I expect to sell off Monday hard. Expect to honestly get down to that like 594, 592 range. I expect it to be a pretty bad day. Probably like a, maybe 1% and a quarter, maybe something like that. I do think there is a gap down for sure. And I'm quite confident in that. We do have a few guys in puts along with myself. I'm in some lotto puts. So I do expect that to come. And then after that, I do expect 610 to be reclaimed and then on to all-time highs and then eventually continuing to 629. But we will ultimately have to see how tariffs affect the market, how NVIDIA's earnings affect the market, and then also the other earnings of companies that are in the S&P and companies like QQQ or ETFs like QQQ. And then also really quickly, same look on QQQ. It's just a little bit more messy. They kind of have a little bit more gaps within this and more indecision, especially with the DeepSeek stuff. But QQQ, same thing, just a little bit different, a bit uglier. But at the end of the day, it's going to have the same thing in the same move as S&P does for the most part. And then honestly, if NVIDIA beats, they're probably going to have a even more bullish outlook. So that is a really good thought to have. But that is really going to be it for me, guys. I just want to make a quick update and let you guys know what's coming Monday and what happened this week. We did sell off Monday, and then we got bought up all the way into Friday, and then Friday afternoon we sold off, and we've done that the last 2 weeks. So there gives me strong conviction, to kind of try it again because, nothing has changed in the news side where the tariffs are still an issue, but they can't really decide how they're going to be used yet, if they're even going to be put into place, when they're going to go into place, what the percents are going to be. So it does seem like a lot of the logistics are still being worked out, which is honestly probably more bullish than bearish. I don't really expect these tariffs to be as bad as people are expecting. It is always one of those things where they kind of try and scare the market. And then if I get caught red-handed in that, I'm totally fine with that. I'll just continue to buy those dips because I don't think these tariffs are really going to ruin the market. But that is going to be all from me, guys. Make sure you guys do like, subscribe, and comment down below what video you guys want to see next. We have the whole weekend to go over a few stocks that you guys want to pick from and review those for the upcoming week. So make sure you guys do let me know those stocks. And then also go ahead and click the link down below. It'll send you guys to our free Discord. And then also on each side of me, there should be a video, a playlist, and a subscribe button. Make sure you guys do check out at least one of those three. And I will see you guys in the next video.